What is good in the neighborhood, y'all? Check this out. Look at 6ix9ine Fat Boy. Hey, this is going on the stream channel, the Music Recording Network stream. Hey, craziest rappers fight that ever happened. Lordy day. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Don't forget, y'all, we rocking about 4 or 5 channels. I don't even know where it's at, man. Wait a minute. I was gonna show y'all. Right here. Police Beatdown, man. Y'all need to check out our new channel, man. Police Beatdown. If you into these police type chases and all that type of stuff, man. I've been finding some good ones that I've been working on. So we got plenty of videos that we can release. We are at 152 subscribers. So if y'all want to help support Uncle Mike, go to that channel, Police Beatdown. There should be a link below. Look for the link below, or maybe one of the end cards or something, for Police Beatdown. Craziest rappers fights that ever happened. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy.
If you thought this was just about Nicki and Cardi's crazy girl fight and drama, you might have to take a deep breath for what's to come. These fights were between the fiercest, toughest, and oldest rappers who all went physical when diss tracks failed. Get ready to witness the industry's most intense fights that ever happened, beginning from the craziest and longest running. 50 Cent versus Ja Rule.
They fought?
Some feuds are too complicated and hard to forget no matter how much time may have passed. Just like 50 Cent's long-standing war with Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, and the Murder Inc. conglomerate. Around 1999, Ja Rule, a rising star at the time, was lured down the block by an old Southside acquaintance who was under the impression that Rule made him a cuckold during a prison bid. Despite Rule's denial, the man still opted to seize the rapper's chain as a consolation prize. Naturally, Rule wasn't about to let such disrespect go unanswered, so he assembled his crew for a revenge mission. However, before things got out of hand, Rule first reached out to a mutual party, the Big Homie Supreme, who facilitated the return of Rule's chain. Once 50 Cent caught wind of what had transpired, he released a dad track titled Life's on the Line, where he viciously trolled Rule over the incident. But the unreleased version of the track is where he does the real damage. There, 50 raps, "You pretty jaw, why you get juked in your own hood? Why niggas who robbed you walk around like it's all good? Why you ran to Preem to get your shit back? Why you won't approach me cause you know I'll push your shit back?" It's not clear what prompted the animosity towards Rule, but some argue he was jealous of Ja Rule's faster rise to fame at the time. Nevertheless, the two rappers would eventually come face to face at a massive concert in New York in late 1999. Things escalate quickly and the two end up in a nasty brawl that ends with 50 making away with Rule's chain. 50 spends the next couple of weeks mocking Rule by wearing the controversial chain around the hood. In an old interview between Dame Grease and M. Rec, the former reflects on 50 spotting Ja Rule's chain during a studio session at the Hit Factory. Grease says,
"One of the homies came in and he just banged on another rapper, and he came in smiling, teeth from here to here, and he had his chain on his little kid, on his son."
Grease explained that 50 touted his victory over Ja Rule at the time. He goes,
and he came in like, "Yeah, I just took a I remember now I was like, "Yo, son, you crazy." I'm like, I don't even know who you niggas is, but that's G. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that was actually 50.
According to reports, Ja Rule would later storm the studio with his boys looking for 50, leading to one of the most violent clashes in rap history. During the fight, one of Rule's boys allegedly pulled a knife out and stabbed 50. Although 50 managed to escape the attack, he would go on to downplay the incident, referring to the stabbing as a little scratch. Up till now, the two are still taking shots at each other. From here, we move on to a crazy girl fight that shook the rap industry to its core. Nicki Minaj versus Cardi B. The beef between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B began with the release of Cardi B's Bodak Yellow and her subsequent rise to fame.
I ain't know they, hold up, man. Let's get back to 50. Wait a minute. I ain't know they did that much beefing, to be honest.
He would go on to downplay the incident, referring to the stabbing as a little scratch. Up till now, the two are still taking shots at each other. From here, we move on to a crazy girl fight that shook the rap industry to its core. Nicki Minaj versus Cardi B.
And
The
Cardi
beef between
B,
Nicki Minaj
Lord
and
have
Cardi B
mercy.
began with the release of Cardi B's Bodak Yellow and her subsequent rise to fame. Before Cardi's introduction to the rap scene, Nicki was the undisputed queen of the genre for women. Suddenly, Nicki Minaj's position was threatened as Cardi's debut single was doing numbers that Nicki had only dreamed of in nearly a decade of her career. The song had not even peaked when Nicki Minaj's fans, known as Barbs, began throwing shades at Cardi. At the time, it had been nearly 3 years since Nicki had released an album, and her fans were only right to feel that her spot was being threatened. Amidst all the drama, Nicki and Cardi attempted to put their differences aside and appeared on Migos' 2017 single Motorsport. But it all went terribly wrong. After the song's video was released, news that Nicki and Cardi had shot their scenes separately led to more speculations about tensions between them. But the straw that broke the camel's back was when it was revealed that Migos added Cardi to the song without consulting Nicki, and that Nicki's verse was allegedly changed at the request of Cardi's label, Atlantic. From here, both rappers began throwing shades at each other, with Nicki notably calling Cardi ungrateful during one of her interviews in 2018. The growing tension eventually escalated when the rappers attended the New York Fashion Week party in September 2018. According to reports, Nicki Minaj was talking to someone when Cardi B tried to attack her, but was stopped by Nicki's bodyguards. A video later surfaced online showing the moment that Cardi launched at Nicki. The Bodak Yellow rapper also threw a shoe at Nicki and was later seen leaving the event with a bump on her head. Shortly after the altercation, Cardi took to Instagram where she wrote a lengthy post alluding to the fight, but didn't call Nicki by name. She revealed that she was sparked because her mothering skills were being questioned. The post read in part, "But when you mention my child, you choose to like comments about me as a mother, make comments about my abilities to take care of my daughter is when all bets are f***ing off." Since then, Nicki and Cardi have continued to throw jabs at each other at every turn. In 2023, their spouses were even dragged into the feud when Nicki's husband, Kenneth Petty, posted a video with his crew roaming New York, apparently searching for Offset. While Offset laughed off the threat, a judge slapped Petty with a probation violation and sentenced him to house arrest. Next up, we have a rap couple who constantly air their relationship troubles in public. Blueface versus Chrisean Rock. Blueface and Chrisean Rock have one of the weirdest relationships in the rap world. The rap duo have been dating on and off since 2020, but their romance has been plagued by several fights and controversies. One of their most controversial moments came on August 2nd, 2022, when the couple was caught brawling on the streets. In footage obtained by TMZ, Blueface and Rock can be seen walking down the street in Hollywood, California, when Rock suddenly threw the first punch. The brawl continued on the fairly populated sidewalk while both continued to exchange more blows. At some point, Rock ripped Blueface's shirt and dragged him to the ground, which caused them to continue the tussle on the ground. In retaliation, Blueface yanked off her chain from her neck before some bystanders intervened and successfully broke off the fight. Surprisingly, Blueface and Chrisean Rock still went home together after the brutal fight. However, moments later, Blueface hopped on Instagram to show the injuries he had sustained during the fight. In the video, Blueface also revealed how the fight started. The rapper claimed he had gone through Rock's phone and found out she was talking to other men. He further revealed that he offered her some money to break off their relationship, but she rejected the offer. In a similar pattern, Chrisean Rock took to her Instagram Live 2 months later to show off injuries she had sustained during another fight with Blueface. The rapper was visibly upset with tears running down her face when she said, "The fuck? This is a busted lip, a busted nose. You're lying. You weird ass bitch." Rock went on to reveal that she had been texting a boy, which resulted in the bitch ass nigga beating her up. A year later, the two were at it again when Rock took to Instagram to allege that Blueface ambushed her and punched her in the face. In the live video, Rock showed what looked like bloody evidence all over her car and Blueface's knuckles. She then told her followers she won't be leaving Blueface's driveway until the cops get there to take him to jail. In his response, Blueface claimed she showed up unannounced at his house and she was driving their baby without the safety of a car seat. Meanwhile, law enforcement sources revealed no calls were made reporting the incident. From Blueface and Rock's toxic relationship, we explore another epic fight that was recorded live and shared online. The Game versus 40 Glock. Over the years, rapper The Game has been involved in some high-profile feuds with several rappers. However, one of the more intriguing feuds involving The Game was the one with another rapper named 40 Glock. Through the years, both rappers never hid their utter hatred for each other, but things took a dark turn in July 2012 when The Game orchestrated a well-planned attack against 40 Glock. In a 35-second video, which was recorded and shared by The Game, the rapper captured how he handed down a thorough beating to his foe. With his iPhone in one hand, Game is seen chasing down 40 in the streets of Los Angeles. When Game eventually he catches 40, he unloads a series of heavy blows on him while still holding the iPhone with the other hand. As the blows intensified, 40 turns his back and cowers to his knees, while voices can be heard in the background pleading with Game to end the punishment. Following the one-sided beat down, 40 Glock sat down with Adam 22 in September 2022 to give his own account of how things went down that fateful day. During the lengthy interview, 40 emphasized that the recorded fight was never one-on-one, but the aftermath of a large-scale jumping. 40 then detailed how the Game had a gun pointed to his head at some point, forcing him to beg for his life and submit to the beating. The rapper followed up by suing the Game $4.5 million in damages for assault and battery, as well as damage to his reputation, which was caused by the recorded beatdown. In 2015,
dang, young. Every time I look, the Game getting sued for millions. He had to get rid of his house because he did something to some female that he probably learned from Puffy. The 2 years he hung around Puffy, and all we did was party. We just partied. That girl, you done did something you had no business to do. I didn't know he had a. Y'all know Game had a talk show. Yeah, he had a little talk show. Play the game, win the game, or something like that. And the girl was on the talk show. So the judge made him. He had to sell his house in order to pay her the $7 million or something like that.
40 was awarded by suing the Game $4.5 million in damages for assault and battery, as well as damage to his reputation, which was caused by the recorded beatdown. In 2015, 40 was awarded $3,000 and an additional $200,000 in 2017. Quando Rondo versus Lil Durk. Although there had always been animosity between rappers Quando Rondo and Lil Durk, their beef really intensified with the death of Chicago rapper King Von. Von was killed during a shooting outside an Atlanta nightclub on November 6, 2020. The shooting reportedly escalated from a physical altercation involving King Von's entourage and Quando Rondo's entourage. Von was shot during the confrontation and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Meanwhile, the police quickly identified an associate of Rondo named Lul Tim as the one who pulled the trigger that killed Von. Throughout the trial, Rondo showed support for Lul Tim and even poked fun at Von's death on numerous occasions. This angered Lil Durk, who was a close friend of the late King Von, and he inevitably got drawn into an intense feud with Rondo. The Lil Durk and Quando Rondo beef took a dark turn when fans began trending the Slide for Von hashtag, which was a plea to Lil Durk to avenge the death of his friend. On August 19, 2022, Rondo was ambushed by gunmen at a gas station located near the Beverly Center Mall. The gunmen fired at least 18 rounds at Rondo's vehicle, striking and killing a victim later identified as Rondo's cousin, Lul Pab. In the days that followed, Lil Durk released a track which not only mocked Lul Pab's death, but also hinted that Lil Durk may have played a role in the shooting. 2 years after the shooting, Lil Durk, along with 5 other members of his Only the Family crew, were arrested for the murder-for-hire plot that claimed Lul Pab's life. Lil Durk's trial is set to begin on January 7th. For the next rappers on our list, things nearly got fatal like the Lil Durk murder-for-hire situation. Tekashi 69 versus Trippie Redd. Like most rap feuds, Tekashi 69 and Trippie Redd started out as friends before things went downhill. Both rappers even worked together on 2 collaborations in 2017. Their first collaboration in April was titled Polls 1469, and the second collaboration in July was titled Owi. However, after a Twitter user shared a tweet claiming that Tekashi 69 was a pedophile, Trippie denounced Tekashi 69. This sparked a social media war between the 2 rappers that went on for several months until Trippie was attacked in the lobby of a New York hotel on November 11, 2017. Following the attack, Trippie Redd blamed Tekashi 69 and his crew for the attack in an Instagram live video. The 2 would continue to trade barbs on social media in February and March 2018. Tekashi 69 was later arrested in 2018, and during his trial, the rapper testified that he orchestrated the November 2017 attack on Trippie Redd out of jealousy. Tekashi 69 claimed that his main dispute was with Trippie due to his gang affiliations and the fact that they were label mates. Tekashi 69 said, "There's a lot of jealousy involved. He was signed. First, I later on signed, we had a song together. It was successful. Then jealousy, we got into online disputes." Tekashi 69 stated that the attack happened after Trippie's manager tried to broker peace between both of them. Following the peace meeting, Tekashi 69 and his crew trailed Trippie to the hotel where they attacked him. After pleading guilty to committing multiple counts of racketeering, conspiracy, firearms offenses, and narcotics trafficking, Tekashi 69 was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Rapper Blueface makes another appearance on our list, but this time he's caught in a brutal feud with his male counterpart. Soulja Boy versus Blueface.
Soulja
Blueface
Boy.
seemingly sparked a feud with Soulja Boy when he claimed he would beat Soulja Boy or any other artist in a
Soulja Boy.
versus battle. He made the utterance during a December 2023 interview with comedian Funny Marco.
I can beat.
So you could outperform Soulja Boy.
Outperform anybody. Hit.
Soulja Boy?
The statement angered Soulja Boy, who fired back by pointing at Blueface's seeming lack of records beyond his single Thotiana. Taking to his Instagram live to send a message to Blueface, Soulja Boy could be heard saying,
"You go perform Bust Down Thotiana 5 times in a row. Cut it out, nigga. Nigga, don't make me go in the vault, nigga. I get to pulling out shit with Bow Wow and shit, nigga. Nigga, what?"
Soulja Boy then ran through the lengthy list of collaborators as evidence that Blueface wouldn't stand a chance in the proposed battle. As the two rappers continued their exchange online, things took a personal turn when Blueface claimed to have slept with Soulja Boy's baby mama, first on social media and later directly to Soulja Boy when the two appeared on Instagram Live together. Blueface even suggested that he may be the biological father of Soulja Boy's child. In response, Soulja Boy vowed to sleep with Blueface's then girlfriend Jaden Alexis, as well as his then ex-girlfriend Chrissy and Rock. While on Instagram Live, Soulja Boy also repeatedly threatened to assault Blueface, challenging him to a fight, with the pair eventually agreeing on a location to meet. However, according to Blueface, Soulja Boy never showed up at the location as planned. Soulja Boy didn't deny Blueface's claim, but insisted that he would confront him at a later date more convenient for him. In January 2024, Soulja Boy then hopped on Instagram Live to demand that Blueface send his address so they could meet up and die. He said, "Oh my mama, man, all that internet shit, all that playing back and forth. Let's die, let's meet up and die. Let's die ASAP. Let's meet right now. Whenever you see this live, just DM me the addy and we gonna be through. Let's shoot it up. Let's shoot it out." There was not going to be any fight though, as Blueface jokingly dismissed Soulja Boy's threats. The next rappers on this list skipped all the social media back and forth and went straight for each other's throats, and it was all because of Rihanna. Drake versus Chris Brown. In the mid-2000s, Drake, Chris Brown, and
Nah, man, they did a song together. I remember Drake and Chris Brown doing a song. Oh my God.
Rihanna were close friends.
Here we go,
Around
Rihanna.
2008, Chris Brown and Rihanna began dating, but their relationship had its fair share of ups and downs. During one of their many breakups, Drake and Rihanna began a romantic relationship around 2009, sparking a jealousy-fueled feud between Brown and himself. The beef quickly escalated into a physical altercation when Drake and Brown crossed paths at a New York nightclub in 2012. According to reports, the brawl began when Brown sent a bottle to Drake's table, a gesture that was obviously not well received. There was an ensuing argument which eventually resulted in Drake allegedly punching Brown in the face and striking him in the chin with a bottle. A full-on brawl then broke out between members of the respective rappers' crew. By the time the police arrived at the scene, both rappers had already left with their respective entourage. WIP, the New York club where the whole thing went down, reportedly provided the video footage of the brawl to law enforcement in order to aid with the investigation into the incident. Meanwhile, shortly after the incident, Drake's spokeswoman at the time, Allison Elbow-Striegel, issued a statement denying that Drake was involved in any wrongdoing. She further emphasized that Drake was on his way out of the club when the fight started, and he took no part in it. Almost simultaneously, Brown's spokesman, Jeff Raymond, issued a statement claiming that Brown was a victim of a brutal attack. Brown backed up the statement by tweeting a picture of his bloody chin with the remarks, "Bottles? It's nothing? Throwing bottles like girls? Hashameonia." The pair were later sued for $16 million over the nightclub fight. From our messy love triangle, we move on to the bizarre fight between two alleged lovers that left one of them shot in the foot. Megan Thee Stallion versus Tory Lanez.
Damn.
Yes, this nigga Tory shot me.
What?
You shot me.
Oh my God, wait a minute. Woosah. What? You done shot?
And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit.
In the early hours of July 12, 2020, rappers Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion got into a heated argument after leaving a pool party hosted in the Los Angeles home of Kylie Jenner. As Lanez and Megan left the party in an SUV in the company of some of their friends, a heated argument ensued that saw Lanez lash out at Megan after she criticized his rap abilities. At some point, Megan angrily got down from the vehicle they had both been riding in and was walking away when Lanez fired at her feet. This account was, however, disputed by Lanez's legal team, who who argued that Lanez never fired the gun and instead suggested that the gun may have been fired by another woman, who they claim was upset that the two rappers had been intimate with each other. A video showing the aftermath of the shooting later surfaces on social media, and it captures the moment Megan is slowly backing up to police while her leg is bleeding out on the street. Days after the shooting, Megan took to her Instagram page to inform her followers that she had suffered gunshot wounds that required surgery, but didn't provide any additional details. However, as the gossip and speculation surrounding the shooting began to grow, Megan finally decided to set the record straight and revealed that the shooter was Tory Lanez. At the time, Lanez had already been arrested and charged with concealing a firearm in the vehicle. Lanez would later address the situation in his rap lyrics that suggested a conflicting account. He said, "We both know what happened that night and what I did, but it ain't what they saying." Following a very chaotic trial, Lanez was sentenced to 10 years in prison. He is set to be released in 2033 and may be eligible for parole in 2029. More recently, Megan filed a restraining order against Lanez, accusing him of continuing to harass her online from behind bars and subjecting her to repeated trauma and re-victimization. Next up, we have a father-son relationship that turned bitter and almost got bloody. Lil Wayne versus Birdman. Lil Wayne and Birdman had an enviable father-son relationship that was nothing like the music world had ever experienced. Unsurprisingly, their perfect relationship ultimately translated into success in the music industry, earning the duo much-deserved accolades amongst their colleagues. However, everything they worked so hard to achieve was flushed down the drain when the pair got involved in a 3-year saga in which they aired their dirty laundry for all to see. This all began in 2014 when, out of nowhere, Lil Wayne took to Twitter to call out Birdman in a series of rant tweets, accusing him of being responsible for the delay in the release of his album, The Carter V. Lil Wayne also expressed his desire to cut ties with the label while describing himself as a prisoner whose creativity was being curtailed. He wrote, "I want off this label and nothing to do with these people, but unfortunately it ain't that easy." Things would get more intense between Lil Wayne and Birdman over the next couple of months. In January 2015, the Lollipop rapper announced a $51 million lawsuit against Cash Money. Lil Wayne then took the fight public, sending out a series of disses and verbal assaults to Birdman. During an April 2015 concert, Lil Wayne famously yelled to fans while performing on stage. Expectedly, they responded. Birdman rarely responded to any of Lil Wayne's feuds, but later that month, hands were pointed at him when Lil Wayne's tour bus was sprayed with bullets from a passing car while it was leaving the Compound nightclub in Atlanta. Although no one got injured during the attack, it was later discovered that the shooter was Pee Wee Roscoe, an affiliate of Young Thug, who was at the time forming a close friendship with Birdman. The assault continued in July 2015 when Lil Wayne performed at Club Live in Miami. The rapper was reportedly drenched with drinks thrown at him from the VIP section. It was alleged that Birdman and his crew were seated in the section of the VIP where the drinks were thrown. Around that time, an indictment claimed Birdman and Young Thug planned the attack on Lil Wayne's tour bus. Nevertheless, Birdman and Young Thug were never charged with any crime, and Lil Wayne would eventually reconcile with Birdman in August 2018. From here, we explore the feud that destroyed two of rap world's greatest, turning them from friends into music's biggest rivals.
Damn.
Tupac versus Notorious Big. Tupac
here we
and
go.
Biggie were two of the most talented rappers on the scene in the 90s, and that meant they naturally gravitated towards each other. However, the fact that they belonged to different coasts meant that their worlds were destined to collide in an unfriendly manner. Things turned sour between the two rappers when Biggie warned Tupac about his friendship with Jacques Haitian Jack Agnant and Jimmy Henchman, but Biggie's warnings fell on deaf ears. Then, on November 30th, 1994, Tupac was shot outside Quad Recording Studios in Times Square. According to reports, Tupac was called up to the studio by Biggie's affiliated rapper Lil Cease. When he arrived at the studios, Tupac was shot, beaten, and robbed of his jewelry. Tupac later found out that Biggie and Diddy were inside the building during the attack, leading him to believe they were behind the shooting. Days later, Tupac will end up in prison for sexual abuse, and it was there that he and Death Row Records' Suge Knight vowed to take down Diddy and Biggie's rival label, Bad Boy Records. While Tupac was in jail, Biggie released the song Who Shot Ya, which many believed was aimed at Tupac. In response, Tupac blasted the Bad Boy rapper, claiming that Biggie's style was a ripoff of his own. Tupac also claimed he slept with Biggie's wife Faith Evans in the song Hit 'Em Up. The song begins with Tupac rapping, "I ain't got no motherfucking friends. That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat mother." Further into the song, Pac gets more personal and direct as he raps. "You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, for life. This was the peak of their feud, and rumors began to spread that both groups were out for each other. Tupac was eventually murdered in September 1996, barely 3 months after dropping Hit 'Em Up. But there is no
96.
evidence to show that Biggie or Diddy had a hand in Pac's death. Biggie was killed in a drive-by shooting on March 9, 1997. Both murders remain unsolved. Next on our list, we take a look at how a battle for supremacy between two Southern rappers turned into a full-on brawl in the streets. T.I. versus
Damn. The two top rappers of all times, I think. That's well known. Rest in peace to Big L also. Big L was crazy. And all of a sudden, within 2 years, they both gone. That's crazy, man.
Lil Flip.
And y'all want to do hip hop for real?
Both murders remain unsolved. Next on our list, we take a look at how a battle for supremacy between two Southern rappers turned into a full-on brawl in the streets. T.I. versus Lil Flip. Back in the early 2000s, rapper T.I. enjoyed massive success as he dropped several hit songs. Around 2003, while riding on the wave of his accomplishments, he began calling himself the King of the South. This didn't go down well with some of his Southern colleagues, especially Lil Flip, who publicly rejected that claim. As usual, this led to some back and forth between both rappers that only got more intense when T.I. was sent to jail in 2004 for violating the terms of his probation. This stemmed from a 1998 conviction for violating a State-Controlled Substances Act and for giving false information. Between 2004 and 2005, the two Southern rappers continued to trade shots at each other through their various songs and mixtapes. The beef eventually came to a head when T.I. made an appearance on Houston radio station 97.9 in 2005 and dissed Lil Flip on air. During the interview, T.I. also claimed that he was heading to Flip's Cloverland neighborhood to shoot a video to unmask Flip as a fraud. True to his words, T.I. went to the Cloverland neighborhood after the interview, and this led to a massive confrontation between both groups at a detail shop near Cloverland. Things quickly escalated and a fight ensued that led to many people sustaining injuries. Following the fight, T.I. went on the radio to claim that he recorded the whole incident and would release it on his next mixtape. Ultimately, the two eventually ended up squashing their beef in 2013 during a sit-down that had Rap-A-Lot founder Jay Prince playing the role of mediator. While talking about the peace meeting, Lil Flop said, "What we said was at an undisclosed location and cooler heads prevailed. You know, at the end of the day, it was some petty shit. That's what grown men do, sit down and figure this shit out." The meeting was successful, and both T.I. and Lil Flip agreed to put their differences aside and continue with their respective rap careers. There you have it, the craziest rappers fight the entertainment scenery has ever witnessed. If you enjoyed this clip and wouldn't mind more of such content, click on the card showing on the screen.
Man, I'm looking at that last card, man. Hey, man, that was crazy right there. This whole thing is crazy, man. I might have to click on that right there. So now that I'm doing YouTube and really analyzing this stuff, y'all, none of this stuff ain't got nothing to do with music. If you focus and concentrate only on making music, beats, better music, mixing and mastering and all this stuff, you doing it wrong. It's only about 20% is about music. It's about making a name for yourself, carrying guns and, you know, making people follow you. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about, you know, I got video footage. We going down there. They going to be down there. We need about 5 or 6 people to film it, whatever. Yeah, it's about that. Think about it. This whole video, they ain't talked about any music. They ain't talked about only time they mixtapes on get back on each other. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Hey, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.